Welcome back. As the primary election edges closer and closer, a lot more people are putting their names into the race. One of those people is Montez Solis, a Democrat who is challenging Sorensen in the Illinois 17th District. Thank you so much for coming on.
Of course. Thank you for having me.
Tell me a little bit about myself. Who are you and what kind of is your experience going into this race?
Yeah, well, again, thank you for having me. For me, I've been civically engaged since I was 12 years old, whether it was on the picket line or protesting, standing up for what's right, even if it meant standing alone. So for me, this is personal. I've been civically engaged early as I can remember, and so this wasn't really a resume change for me. Hearing the concerns and worries that are people that are going through, whether it's education equity or economic justice, we need a representative that truly represents our district, someone that's proactive and not reactive. And so for me, whether it's my studies at NIU, home of the Huskies, class of 2023, or working alongside 3 legislators and 1 member of Congress, I've taken my passion and my focus and really given it back to the people, and that's what we need is more representatives.
And yeah, let's say like you did win the election, you're in Congress. What would kind of be your first bill? What are your kind of policy focuses?
Yes, I mean there are so many focuses given the second Trump administration, and so I'd say it really depends on that time, what that moment calls for. For me, my agenda focuses on 3 things: economic justice, healthcare and freedom, and building strong communities and strong infrastructures. And so whether that's throwing up a piece of legislation, the Teacher Compensation Act. I've written 10 pieces of legislation that are ready on day 1 and not just one day. And so whether it's addressing education equity or making sure that we have a more streamlined approach to our immigration process, of course I would be open to those options as well.
Right, and you are running against Sorensen. Sorensen, he's won his district twice. It's quite a moderate district. He's kind of held it down as a Democrat. It's one of the places that Republicans are always looking to challenge when trying to take seats in the House. Why run against Sorensen? What do you have beef with him? Do you disagree? Do you disagree with him? Yeah. Where does the issue lie?
Yeah, no, that's a great question. I applaud anyone that is doing community service, that wants to be civically engaged and active for their community in the greater nation. But at the end of the day, we have to look at what that representative is actually embodying. This is a representative that one of the few Democrats that voted for the Lake and Riley Act, which goes after our immigrant families. We know that Rockford in particular, a city that I was born and raised in, has one of the most highly dense Hispanic populations. We're already seeing reports of ICE raids and ICE tearing families apart and providing little to no excuse as to why they're doing what they're doing. Whether it's addressing climate change, he claims to be the only meteorologist in Congress, and yet we have not seen any form of comprehensive approach in addressing climate change. Representatives need to embody the issues that are currently going on. We don't need to have a representative that dismisses those urgencies when we need someone that is going to, again, be proactive about it all. And so for me, my campaign is based on lived experience. I want a representative that has had to ration medication or stretch a paycheck. We need representatives, we need leaders that feel as though politics is not happening at them, but happening with them. And so I'm coming to the table in hoping to lead Illinois 17th Congressional District, because we know when we don't have a seat at the table, we're on the menu.
And I think one interesting thing is you're quite young as well. How old are you again?
I'm 24 years old.
24, exactly. Yes. There seems to be quite a lot of young Democrats looking to upend some moderate incumbent Democrats. I know in Nikki Baczynski's district, there's a young Democrat running, and there's another one running against LaHood as a Democrat who's very young. Why do you think so many young people have just decided to get into this race?
Yeah, we are the generation of unaffordable housing, where we can't afford a 2-bed, 1-bath unit off of 1 income. The generation of active school shooter drills. The generation where climate change is now an existential crisis. And so we are being given all of these issues and told everything's going to be okay, when we know it's not. We're seeing leaders, not just in this state, but all across the nation, that are stepping up and saying that we are prepared to challenge the status quo. We are prepared to stand up for what's right, even if it means standing alone. But I know we're not alone, because since this launch, we've had a little over 60,000 social media interactions, consistently been on the campaign trail, and looking forward to meeting many more people, not just Democrats, but Republicans and independents. We've got to give people a reason to vote, and that calls for giving them representatives that look like them and embody the issues that they deem to be focused on.
All right, sweet. Thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you for having me. Thank you.
Yeah, next up, we'll have your local sports. Make sure to stay tuned.